Money King here. Today we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin halving aftermath and some of these things that people have been trying to stay profitable. So let's get right into it. So as we know, the Bitcoin halving did go down, and things are still doing pretty good in my opinion, right? The fees have been up. There's been still, Bitcoin is still pretty profitable for most people that are still mining at home, depending upon obviously your electricity rate. Now there has been some other things, and some people were thinking about maybe going to digibyte, going to Bitcoin Cash, and I think that some of those options may not be an option for you anymore. So let's take a look. We are over here at Mining Pool Stats, everybody's favorite place to go, and we are going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin hash rate, right? Now, it's actually stayed pretty steady here around 670. Now, there was a dip the other day. It had gone down quite a bit, but it's looking like it's coming back up right now, right? Looks like the hash rate is coming back to Bitcoin, obviously, because maybe some people see the fees are coming back. And you can see the difficulty here hasn't really adjusted yet. I know Bitcoin is much slower, but difficulty still hasn't adjusted itself, right? So according, and this calculator is pulling from MinerStat, which I think is a little off. According to this, which I have about 2,400 terahash, it says I should be making about 115 a day, which is awful. Now let's go ahead and let's go ahead and check out Bitcash, which is another SHA-256 algorithm. If you're not familiar with it, it's another coin you can mine with your Bitcoin ASICs, right? All these coins right here on the left-hand side are all SHA-256, and that you can mine with your Bitcoin ASICs. Now, most of the time, these aren't the most profitable, obviously. It's usually Bitcoin. But you can mine these other coins if you wanted to with your Bitcoin ASICs. So we're going to go to Bitcoin Cash, and right now, you can see that this is where it's usually at, and there was a huge spike, okay, on the 19th. It went up to almost 5 exahash, okay? And right now, it's at about 4 exahash, and there's 54% of unknown hash rate, which is probably somebody privately mining it with a very large farm, right? So this has probably almost 3x its hash rate of what it usually is. So hash rate is up on Bitcoin Cash, which is going to drive the profitability down on the Bitcoin Cash if you were thinking about moving to this, because it was going to be more profitable when the halving went down, but because so many people moved over, that profitability has kind of gone away here. And then we're going to take a look at digibyte, which digibyte actually has several variants of their mining algorithm that you can use. SHA-256 is one of those algorithms, right? Which is the same as Bitcoin. And they have seen also a huge amount of hash rate, okay? So look, right here, you can see right here, it's usually around 40 petahashes on their SHA-256 algorithm. Okay, it had and this is known hash rate, not unknown. This is known, okay, that it was roughly at 40s. It climbed to like 80. But if you see here, the total network hash rate is 564 petahash, okay? It has 10x its hash rate on just this one side of the algorithm, because remember, digibyte has multiple algorithms that it uses. And you can see right here that this difficulty for the last 6 months has almost been a dead straight line. A couple little spikes here and there, but look, at the end of this, it's really hard to see. There's a huge, massive spike of difficulty starting right here, which is going to be all of this hash rate that just climbed up onto this network, right? Now, let's go ahead and let's take a look at Mine the ASIC, which has been a really popular site of late, but I find that their calculators are kind of off, and we'll just say you're at 9 cents for your ASICs. We're going to go over to Bitcoin. miners, and obviously right now it's telling you that the most profitable thing to mine is going to be digibyte, right? So according to this, at least their calculator, and I'm actually going to be doing a test today. I'm going to put one of my asics that's over at Terra on digibyte, and I'm going to mine it for 24 hours, and I want to see roughly how accurate these calculators are, because right now everything's just going everywhere. Hash rates are up, difficulties are going up and down. Everything's just crazy right now, right? So it's a really weird time to be in the Bitcoin ASIC world, because everything is going up and down, and people are moving machines over to try to keep their farms profitable, so that way they can keep their farms on, right? So currently right now, it's saying that you're going to make the most from digibyte, which it's saying that you're going to make about $7.08, right? After electric at 9 cents, okay? It says your total income should be about $13 for one S19K Pro, okay? Now, if you come down here, if you go down further down the calculator, you'll see that the rewards right here is a lot lower, right? It says now on Bitcoin, it says I'm only going to bring in a revenue of $9, right? So if I'm making $3 less than this, okay, as far as income goes, that means I'm only going to make a couple of bucks, like $2.98, right, is what I'm going to bring home, take home, right? So $3 a day of machine. So having took place, obviously profitability is down for Bitcoin mining at the current time. Now I want to go to another calculator, and I think it's a little more accurate, but I need to test to make sure, right? Because we're going to go to what to mine, if I could not use a 0 and actually use an O, and we're going to go to their ASIC side, okay? And I'm going to put in one of my down-tuned ones, but let's go ahead and let's do a full 120 terahash at, we'll say 2,800 watts, right? Ish, because what Bitmain advertises is not true. It's usually much different, 5 to 10%, depending upon your silicon lottery and other factors, environment and all that other stuff, temperature. Okay. According to this calculator, which I think is far more accurate than mine the ASIC, but that's just my current opinion right now, because of the 10x of hash rate, right? Because that's what's really going to drive the profitability down. Is currently on digibyte, you're going to see an actual revenue of $9.43 and only make $2.71. And then on Bitcoin, it says you're going to have a revenue of $9.26 and make $2.54, okay? So according to this, estimated rewards is going to be, in this neighborhood here, all right, of 538, 754. So when I'm done recording this video, I'm going to go to one of my ASICs. I'm going to put it on a digibyte pool. I'll make a digibyte wallet, whatever. And I'm going to test this for one day, right? And then at one day, I want to see how much digibyte I actually mined with, because as you've seen before, that the difficulty is just now starting to spike. The difficulty is now starting to catch up with the 10x of hash rate. So how is that going to affect your yield of digibyte? So I think this calculator is probably more accurate than the mine the ASIC. I think that they're not caught up. So right here, it's saying the difficulty right here and the hash rate, and this I don't think is caught up all the way. So it's going to be very interesting on this test. Now, another interesting fact is you could maybe look at PureCoin. Okay, so let's take a look at PureCoin. PureCoin, I'm not really familiar with. Don't know a lot about it, but this has also, if you've seen here, 21 petahash, but there's 83.46 petahash and 75% pretty much of unknown, which is probably people moving away from Bitcoin and putting it on this coin because it's going to be more profitable for them to mine. But this is going to be the thing. So this is kind of like we as miners should be kind of used to stuff like this. This is almost kind of like the same situation as the Ethereum merge, right? Not exactly the same situation, a little bit different, but essentially people are moving their machines from different different coins that are still SHA-256 that they could put their Bitcoin ASICs on to try to make their machines as most profitable as they can, because some of these larger farms or even people who self-host large amounts of Bitcoin ASICs, this is like their passive income and this is how they live every day. So obviously them taking a hit on their income every day is not good. So they're going to be moving around a lot. And honestly, at this current point, I think the best option is just stay the steady course of mining Bitcoin at this point, because obviously everybody had the same idea as everybody else, which was, hey, maybe I'll move to digibyte, maybe I'll move to Bitcoin Cash, I'll move to these other coins and I'll still be profitable. The problem with that is everybody knows about that, and everyone knows that those coins also can be mined with Bitcoin ASICs. So it's like everyone else had the same great idea, and the problem with that is those networks seeing significant amounts of hash rate increase, which then drive the profitability down, right? So I think right now everybody's spread out, and profitability right now is kind of going to be the same anywhere you go. So to me, I think the best choice is probably going to be just stay the course and just mine Bitcoin, obviously depending upon your electricity rate. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. It'll be released a little later than this one today, because I will be doing a test on my own Bitcoin ASIC of actually running it and seeing how much digibyte I actually mine. And that way we could see how profitable digibyte is it worth? Because what if it's even less? What happens if the difficulty catches up and the yields are even less than that? And by that time, you've already had your Bitcoin ASICs on it for, let's say, 2 or 3 days. And if you have a big farm, right, you could lose several $100s or even several thousands or tens of thousands of dollars by this error. By people who have massive farms with Bitcoin ASICs, this is a very, very big move for them, right? Even for somebody like me, I think my operating cost is around $100 a day to operate my ASICs, right? My like 30 ASICs or so I have. To me, I need to calculate that, because if I mine for 2 days unprofitably, that means I have to make up the difference of what my farm costs me to run, right? So this is a very costly mistake that you can make. So you need to calculate it very well when you're moving to another coin. All right, guys, this is Money King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.